Hello, welcome back to another tactics video. Something that's been highly requested is what to do on fifth tag. This is something that I think a lot of teams get wrong, and I think we can all do a bit better in improving our decision making around fifth tag. One of the most important things to be really aware of is the tag count. So if you're not sure during the game, making sure that you're asking the ref what tag it is or just listening out because the ref should be calling. So what I want to first look at is a bit of a flowchart here. So if we look at this, there's some decisions that we need to, or some questions that we need to ask ourselves before we do anything on fifth tag. It's firstly, are we in their half? Because we just need to know how close we are to their try line. So if we're in their half, can we score? So are we in a good scoring position? Have we got fast ball? Is there an overlap somewhere? Are we, feeling pretty confident that we can do this? Is it so much so that we could even run a move? So we're set, we're ready to go. We're maybe on their line as well. So maybe we could run a move. In pretty much every situation where those things aren't appropriate or you can't say yes to those, you really should be kicking. I think it's important to distinguish between what kind of kick, and in this situation I'm mostly talking about kicking for territory, so a long kick. Okay, so let's go through some scenarios. So let's say this is where we're at and this is fifth tag. So green are attacking, and they got the ball maybe like around here, and they've just spent the whole attacking set trying to exit, and they've just not been able to exit. So they're stuck deep in their own half. It's not likely that you can score from this position. It's just there's so much, it would be 1 in 100 kind of situation. So if you were to just try and run it, let's say this person, let's get it out a little bit wider to maybe the length. Let's say they ran it out here and got tagged, and that's tag 6 turnover. The greens are now defending here while the reds are now attacking here. So you see how different that is. You really want to avoid being turned over here. Best thing to do is to kick as far and as hard as possible. So there's a few different types of kicks you could do. You could go straight to A1 and A1, take it up a little bit, try and find a hole and then kick. Maybe the angle's a bit off, so maybe you want to get it out there and your rover might be able to kick there. I would personally strongly recommend never kicking from dummy half unless you're extremely confident at doing that. If you can do it, it's an extremely effective kick. So instead of doing it in game, I would urge you to practice that outside before trying to do it yourself, getting turned over here and then looking like a silly old sausage. So yeah, so in this situation, I'd be passing it out to this player. Because you're so deep, you're gonna need a pretty strong boot to get it there. That's a sort of 50-meter kick. It might be better trying to get it wide, trying to get it into these channels so that this is a bit like loose and then kicking. Okay, scenario 2, we're sort of on the halfway line here. Fifth tag again. Even if you don't get a 50-10, kick it into the corners is the best thing to do here. So are we going to try and attack? Are we going to try and score? Or are we going to just kick it away? So again, if we look back at the flowchart, can we score from here? Or can we run a move? Do we feel like that this is an opportunity where we can score, or would it be beneficial to just kick for territory? So it sort of depends, I guess. So if the defenders, you've caught them and they're all retreating, so they've just made the tag and they're all running backwards, maybe you might be able to get it through the hands and attack and try and get into the corner. So, maybe. Or at least you might be able to get the ball all the way here and end up getting tagged here. You're in a good position here to pass it back to A1, who is inside their own half and can kind of take a free shot at anything. So sort of eyeing up the thing, trying to see if there's a gap somewhere, if they get like chuck blitzed here, these people will come up and sort of run up there. Then maybe again just passing it out to the rover and seeing if they can kick it. Obviously the other option is potentially to kick short. So let's say this is the defence and this is how they're sweeping, and the defenders have rushed up. They know that you're going to kick because it's fifth tag. They've absolutely flown up, so they're just all up in your grill, going like that. So it's going to be really difficult to pass it through the hands and find more space. So the option could be just to kick it in the middle, kick it here, because if all these defenders have this forward momentum and all the green players, all the attackers have got this sort of momentum, you could end up, if you can regather that and these sweepers are sort of struggling to get there, you could be in for the box. Okay, scenario 3, and the final scenario that I want to explore. I would say go for it. You've got really nothing to lose. You're not going to gain anything by kicking here. So I would, in this situation, try and get in the box. Really, if it's a fifth tag, what you want to be doing is calling a move. If we just pass it and run at them, any half-decent defender will just tag, and it won't be a very threatening way to attack the line. The reason why I really think kicking here is really, really bad, which I just don't understand, to be honest, is this kick where A1 gets it here, the defenders come up and hold, you'll hear them shout 2 and hold, sort of like this, and then you see some random kick like across here. It's complete random. It's just all down to luck. Sometimes you see some weird like bounce because you're playing on Southwark Park and there's a divot and it goes whap and it bounces over and the winger gets it and scores some sort of freak try, and then everyone goes, wow, that's a great kick. In my opinion, that's not a good kick. That is, I have no other ideas, I'm just going to kick it. Again, the reason why this is really bad is that because it's not a very long distance, you're not kicking it very hard. And it just means that these two players specifically have a really long time to see it come towards them, and they can just pick it up and just collect it. It's like not that threatening. And in most scenarios that happens, they'll just get it. In other scenarios, this person will just like knock it on or something. Or even if they do regather, let's say you kick it along here and then this person gets it and then they just tag, and you actually haven't done anything. You haven't created any space. I can't tell you how annoying I find it when I see people kick this kick. I just think it's pointless. Let's do something. Let's use these players. Let's be creative. So yeah, that's really all I have to say on that for now. There are more things about specific types of kicks and position of kicking, and it can get a lot more complex. But I just wanted to go over the sort of basic decision making behind what to do on fifth tag, and I think if you can ask yourself those questions in the flowchart and get into the habit of thinking of those, even by third or fourth tag, start thinking about, where are we on the pitch? What's the score? Can we score? Do we need to score? What's best for the team? Those sorts of things, you will immeasurably improve as a general in attack. And I think it's really important that wingers and links, so the wide players, know and are thinking this way as well, because if the middle players are concentrating on catching the ball and passing and just trying to not make any mistakes, if the wide players are sort of sat out on the touchlines a bit bored, not doing anything, you can help your middles by thinking, okay, well, we're on tag 4, we're going to be tag 5, where are we on the pitch? Do I want to tell my middle to kick for me? And then I can chase. Those are the best wingers, to be honest, the ones that are thinking like a middle and communicating to the middle what they want when it gets to that fifth tag. So yeah, hopefully that was helpful. And any questions, comments, leave them below and I will try and respond to them.